Claude Silver is the heart behind Gary Vaynerchuk's empire. She's the only person on the planet so far with the job title Chief Heart Officer. But I'm tipping she'll inspire other companies all around the globe to follow suit. She oozes wisdom and inspiration, and I was lucky enough to catch her for a quick Skype session while she was visiting Australia. Well, Claude, so good to have you in Australia. What do you think of our country so far?
I'm loving it. Everyone is just bright and has an amazing spirit. So thank you for having me.
We'd love to have you down in cold old Victoria, but you probably wouldn't want to be here right now because it's freezing.
But your winter is different than our winter. So
where are you based? Are you in New York?
I'm in New York. Yeah.
Yeah. I visited there not long ago. What an amazing city. How do
Sure
you
is.
stay calm and grounded in a city that goes a million miles?
You know, I a couple different things. One, I'm pretty chill no matter what. Even when I'm snowboarding, I'm still chill. And I have an office that at Vaynermedia that looks out on the Hudson River, which really gives me an enormous sense of expansiveness and peace. And it reminds me of hiking on the coast of California. So it just chills me out in such a great way.
It's such a great point. If you can see nature, or if you just know it's not far away, it actually soothes the soul, doesn't it?
In a big way. I think, human beings, we're supposed to be outside anyway. I don't think we're supposed to be in a concrete jungle.
Totally. Now, for those who don't already know Gary V and Vaynermedia, could you just give us a nutshell of what it's all
Yeah,
about?
absolutely. So I work at Vaynermedia, which is a company that is owned by Gary Vaynerchuk. He's an amazing entrepreneur, salesman, social media personality. His social media personality is called Gary V. I happen to work for the man, Gary Vaynerchuk, and we together run a digital creative agency with offices in 5 different locations, New York being the headquarters, LA, London, Singapore, Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Boulder, Colorado. And I work for 800 people. It's quite an amazing job.
But your title, the role that you play in that massive organization, Chief Heart Officer, I had to get that right, Chief Heart Officer. Is there a Chief Heart Officer in the world anywhere else?
I don't think so. It's been about 3.5 years that I've had this incredible title and the honor of doing what I do every single day. And I can only imagine soon enough there'll be other Chief Heart Officers. I know there are Chief Happiness Officers out there.
So what is that role specifically? You're tending to the emotions of all these people?
The emotions, the growth, the development, the career pathing, the angst, helping people remove, or I should say identify and then remove their limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, and ultimately really finding positivity. So I oversee everything that is normally called HR. However, my role is very different in that the job description Gary gave me was to touch every single employee and infuse empathy across the agency, which, by the way, should be HR. It's not. So I have an amazing team of people that are practiced in HR, and they do all of the things that an organization needs, and I'm there really to cultivate with them an incredible culture and really teach, I think, a lot of life skills, and the agency itself teaches a lot of hard skills too.
It's really amazing. Everyone that works there must feel like they're cared for deeply. And of course, that's going to bring out the best in everyone, isn't it?
That's exactly right. It is. We call it the honey empire. We also say sometimes, people before profit. Not that profit isn't important, because of course it is. It absolutely is. But because we are owned by an independent gentleman, it's not owned by Wall Street. We have the luxury of putting people first, quite frankly, and really helping people, as I say, like, become their greatest. And if they can't become their greatest with us, we absolutely want them to become their greatest elsewhere.
It's incredible. So say I worked at your company.
what would you be checking in on me? Like, what's the sort of things, what's the conversations you're having with these people?
Yeah, so what I'm really looking for is, are we delivering on the promise we made to you, which was something like this. You give us 40, 50 hours of your week, and we will give you growth and development and opportunity, and we want your skill. We're hiring you for your skill and what I call culture addition. We're not hiring for culture fit. So I would be asking you open-ended questions. You know, I wouldn't necessarily come out and say, so how are we doing? Or how are you doing? I might say, what's something that you've been really happy about lately? Or what, is there a project you're really psyched to be working on? Or is there something, a great conversation you and your manager have had? Or, you know, what are you doing to, you know, get promoted? Those types of things. And then I'm listening for your response and how you respond, looking at your body language, of course. And, you know, that might be our first meeting. When I meet with you later, which could be 6 months later, or could be 3 weeks later, depends, I'm digging in a little bit more to see, is there something stopping you or preventing you from going from A to Z? Or is it us? Have we put you in the wrong position? Are you really a comedy writer and we have you writing for financial services, for example? So I'm collecting information. I'm listening for patterns, because the patterns that you show me are probably going to be very similar to people in your cohort or in your demographic. You know, we're not that different from one another.
And that really growing that individual.
Yeah, I really do say we foster life skills. I really believe that we are here to help unlock your potential, and that's my job. I serve you. That's Gary's job. And at the end of the day, I really believe it's everyone's job to turn one another into champions. It's not just my job.
In all parts of life. Imagine if we were all doing that for each other. What a world.
What a world. What a world. What a world. I know there's a revolution happening. I can feel it.
Yes, you can feel it, can't you? We feel the same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in that role? What was your background to come to that place?
So I studied to be a psychotherapist a million years ago, and really had a background in coaching, and I had run a lot of outdoor adventure programs and was just one of those kind of player coaches, always a team captain. I struggled in school. I was highly dyslexic, and so I had to learn different ways of learning the world, if you will, and understanding how things work and systems and whatnot. And I made a decision to not go into psychotherapy, even though I think that would have been the road easiest traveled, because it plays to my strengths. And in 1998, I got kind of cocooned by Silicon Valley and the internet age. And I started a career in advertising and marketing. I had no business being there. It was literally right place, right time. And I made a promise to myself that as I learned this whole new frontier, I would always be that mentor, that coach. And so I had an incredible career in advertising all over the world and working on very big brands. And all along I was raising these teams, whether or not they were in the same geographical place or other geos. And that's what happened, really. I should say, right after 9/11 in California, I was laid off, as many of us were, and I started an outdoor adventure company. I started a surfing company. And so I was teaching surfing about 275 days a year, pushing people in the water and really being that cheerleader for one another. I love that. I just believe in human beings so much. And then, yeah, I'm passionate about what we can do when we are given the space to spread our wings. I really think that's it. And one thing led to another, and I ended up meeting Gary Vaynerchuk as I was living in London, and we really just hit it off in such a great way. And I ended up coming to New York and working for him. I was his first senior hire, senior vice president. And we just really, we saw eye to eye. We both are very optimistic people, and we are empathetic people. And I think we really lead with our heart. And he really liked the way I was running this team. I had a team of about 50 people. And he kept on hearing that I was a good leader, and we didn't have HR at the time. And eventually we developed the chief heart officer role. And I said to him as I took the role, two things. One, I'm not HR. I don't know about compliance and regulations and labor laws. And he said, that's great. You'll hire people around you, which I have. And then the second thing was, how do we know if I'm successful? And that's when he said, you'll touch every single human being and infuse the agency with empathy. And so that's what I do every day. I really had to figure it out quite quickly how we were going to go about doing that and scaling him and scaling me. So long way of saying my job is really, like I say, I work for 800 people every day.
It's incredible. So interesting. I know you talked about having trouble in school, and Gary talks about the same sort of thing. So having those challenges, I guess you develop maybe an empathy towards people that are facing the same sort of challenges. Do you think that sort of thing drives you to be that person that inspires people to be their best?
Oh, 1,000%. Because I didn't fit into the academic world. I didn't fit into, I don't feel like I fit into a lot of things at a young age. And yeah. And so, I had a limiting belief that I was dumb. And I never, ever, ever, ever want anyone to feel that way. And I certainly don't want them to feel that when they walk into a place of employment. I just don't, because I remember what that was like. And so my job is to create psychological and physical safety there so that people feel like they belong, and they can be brave, and they can show up. And that's what we're doing. I mean, that is what I'm doing every day. And that is literally because I didn't feel that.
So incredible.
Yeah. So
I'm fascinated by the dynamics of Gary V and you, because it's obviously perfect yin and yang by the look of it. He is so intense and energetic and up all the time from what it seems when you watch him on videos, and you're very grounded and soothing and calm. So is that how the dynamic plays out? It's like that's how it works so well?
Well, it's really funny because he's actually very grounded. He just gets very energetic in the way he talks. He's very passionate, and he's really committed to his purpose. And I do think that is how we work, though. I think that we're two sides of the same coin. And the way, he may say something in a very kind of brash way, and the way I say something is in the Claude Silver way. But we get to the same place.
Yes.
The destination is the same. It's how we get there is a little bit differently. So, but we have a really great rapport with one another, and I'm so blessed and honored that he has given me autonomy to really do what I think is best for the people there.
Is it you that he turns to for all his, I guess, emotional advice and like increasing his happiness or his contentment or his self-awareness?
Well, I think he's a very special person in that he has so much self-awareness as it is. I do think he's quite a unicorn like that. So I think he definitely turns to me for certain things as I turn to him. I mean, he's an incredible mentor, and he also makes me laugh quite a bit. But he has such a light inside of him. So he's a rare bird.
I know. I'm completely fascinated by him. I can't wait to meet him tomorrow. I'm sort of feeling like I do not know what to expect when I'm actually sitting in front of you after watching so many clips of his enthusiastic, passionate messages. So I'm really thrilled to be meeting him. But I
Oh, I
want to
can't
ask
wait.
you, back to what we were saying before about you feeling like there's this revolution happening in the world. Can you tell me more about what you're thinking there?
Yeah. So if you open up any article in Forbes or Harvard Business Review or Psychology Today, I mean, all of the magazines out there are all talking about the same thing: empathetic leadership, servant leadership, how to have more self-awareness, how to increase loyalty at work, all of these things, different stages of empathy, all of these things. And that tells me that the mainstream is starting to talk about these things. That's the first thing. Second thing, even on LinkedIn, as I'm posting or I'm connecting with people, I'm finding an incredible community of like-minded individuals, which is great, really, really great. And I think that's another way. And, there's just it seems like an outpouring of people that are raising their hand to say, oh my gosh, I think that same thing. I feel that same way. Oh yeah, I want to do that in my work. And so I can feel it in the zeitgeist. Culture shifts, they start on the fringe. If you think about like Andy Warhol or some great music, Jimi Hendrix or whomever, they didn't like wake up one day and they were like, this is mainstream. They start on the fringe, and then slowly but surely there's a groundswell, the waves take them into the center. And that's what I feel like. We are entering into this age of heart, and we are entering into this age of intuition, where we can feel like we can be more vulnerable and be more courageous and talk about things that we would normally, guard off.
Mm.
And I think, if you think about mental health today and all of the conversation around mental health in the workplace, and all of these things are adding to this incredible, I think, soup, which is going to be, listen, we need to come together and remember that we are all the same.
Yes.
We all have, we all have warts. We all have struggles. We all have hopes. We all have dreams. So if we can come together and show our vulnerability and
Yes.
cast away the shame.
Yes.
Shame is such a killer. Then we've got something here. Yeah, we've got something, and we're not there yet, but we will be there. We will be there. Yeah, and I mean, we wouldn't have connected had we not been speaking the same language, right? So here we are.
Absolutely, exactly. Everything you're saying is our little mission as a small production company, just trying to get our bit out into the world. We're passionate about people being honest and vulnerable and saying, hey, I have these feelings too. This is what I'm going through. And that's totally normal. But if we all speak up and share that, then it's not going to be as big a deal, because we're all going through the same thing and we can all support each other. That's our mission.
That's right. That's right. Otherwise, it becomes a dark shadow.
Yes. Absolutely.
And then it becomes toxic. And gosh, for all of us out there that have had shadows in our life, and by the way, we'll always have shadows, but it's so draining on our psyche.
Yes.
So let's turn the page. Let's just admit that we're all human. We all fall down, and guess what? We all rise up.
Yes, especially when we come together and support each other. Yeah. I'm
absolutely.
curious to know, do you have any faith or spiritual beliefs behind what you do?
Well, I was raised Jewish, and I love that. I love that it's in my background and my DNA, my family. We were very, I would say, culturally religious. And as I came into my 20s, I really started to study Hinduism and Catholicism and Buddhism. And I really feel like I've had this wonderful amalgamation of everything, where I absolutely I believe in God. I also believe in the universe. I believe in energy. And I believe in kindness.
Yes,
and love.
at the end of the day, all we need to be doing is keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple, being a spirit of generosity. And wherever I get that from, I could get it it's a tree that's teaching me that or a person, it doesn't really matter. It's just that that's what keeps me going every single day is there are two emotions, fear and love, and I'm going to choose to be in love.
Absolutely. Love and service from what I can see you guys are doing. I really think that with Gary and what you're doing, it seems like, you know, the business world is one part, but I feel like underneath it, more than anything, you're both trying to grow great humans out of what you're doing. Would you say that?
I absolutely. We're trying to do that because there's a domino effect if we do that right. You know, and also if we are able to not veer too much right and too much left, but stay right here where the magic really happens and where there are people that really are open to change, you know. There's nothing that we're going to be able to do about the far right or the far left. I'm not even talking politically. I'm just talking in humans. And so I'm interested in the domino effect that kindness and positivity and generosity have with one another.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, do you have synchronistic experiences happening in your life, and do you take note of them and follow them in any kind of way?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think, yes, things always are happening for a reason. I believe in the power of manifestation. I believe in future thinking and doing my best not to look in the rearview mirror. So, you know, it is no surprise to me that I met Gary. There's just no surprise. I had been following him as a social media person.
Yeah.
But what I really found is not only a friend and a brother, but I found a partner in this movement, a partner in this world. And so that is one thing that I think is, you know, enormously synchronistic. And
Yeah. And it was like he was manifesting you into his world as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need one another. So, and then people that just come into my life, and hopefully, you know, people that you know, lives I come into. So, my partner and I just had a baby. She's nine months old.
Congratulations.
And thank you, thank you. Shalom.
Oh, how beautiful. What does shalom mean?
Peace.
Peace, I was going to say, I thought it was. Yeah, how beautiful.
It's just amazing. So if I think about, you know, that and who this little being is, and she's, you know, peace, she's got a real personality to her.
Yeah.
And there's nothing tranquil about peace. Peace is a very strong force.
Yeah.
So I think about her and how she's come into this world and what she's going to do. So there's many things in terms of synchronistic experiences that I'm thinking about.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And I just want to say too, like with this Chief Heart Officer role, would you love that to spread into other businesses?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whatever people want to call themselves doesn't matter to me. I think if people can not just talk the talk of being a Chief Heart Officer, but walk the walk, that's what it is about. It's not about publicity. It's not about a great title. It's about really wanting to be a really good human and help other humans find their way.
Yeah. I'm curious also, have you done your character strengths before, the character strengths test?
No, I don't think so.
I'm going to send it to you because it's such a great test. It's developed over in America by some leading psychologists, and it's like a 10-minute test that I feel like everyone should do in their life because it gives you your top 24 character strengths, and it's such a confidence boost to everyone that does it. What's the website again? It's viacharacter.org. So I'll flick you a link, but everyone listening or watching should do it as well because
amazing.
I think Gary's top strengths might be zest. That's one of them. But yeah, I think yours will be kindness. That's my prediction. So thank you so much for your time. So much wisdom in such a short amount of time. I really appreciate it. And I'll get you back to Australia sooner than this is your first time, and you're only here for how many days?
It's ridiculous. 3.
3 all the way from America. It's a big trip.
It's ridiculous. Thank you so much. I'm just so pleased that we crossed paths today, and I can't wait to hear how your interview with Gary goes tomorrow. I know it's going to be mind-blowing and heart-opening. I just know it.
Absolutely, yes. So great to connect with you. And that's what I love about this wonderful internet, is that people from all parts of the world can come together and share this same message of hope and just coming together for the greater good.
Love it. I love it. Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this video, we'd love you to subscribe so we can keep you up to date with our latest clips on mental health, inspiration, and happiness. I'm Angie Hilton. Thanks for watching.